Hello guys, welcome to another series of 2JZ Tuesday. My name is Michael Chung and today I'm going to share to you guys a topic about how much it is to build a 2JZ GTE with around 500 horsepower. Coming up! For you guys who are new to this channel, Michael Chung Racing is showing to you guys tips and tricks on how to build your engine, especially on your 2JZ engine. All the tips that I share here, you can apply it anywhere into any engine building. So if you guys like this kind of videos, click the like button and subscribe if you guys want to learn more about engine building. Alright, so the main objectives of building an engine, okay, for yourself, for your car, for your team, for your racing. Alright, so what are the most important qualities? I believe it is a reliable engine. Of course, it must fit your budget. Okay, but we all know that the cost is proportional to your reliability. So this one is you cannot escape it. If you are buying cheap counterfeit parts, you are going to you have to expect engine blown up. Alright, so okay, so I'm going to share with you guys how much it is to build around 400 to 600 horsepower of 2JZ GTE. I'm going to do with 3 portions. Alright, I'm going to start from the bottom to the cylinder head, and then I'm going to talk about other stuff which complement to this engine package, right? Alright, be mindful that the first thing is I'm going to use Malaysia ringgit as currency, but I'm also going to convert into US dollars for you guys for easy reference. The second thing is some of the parts that may available to us may not available to you, and vice versa. Some of the parts may available to you and may not available to us. Some of the manufacturers or the dealers, they are not able to send to us, or they are not able to send to you, right? And then the third thing is the import tax varies for different countries because Malaysia has own cars, namely Proton and also Perodua, so all the import taxes are quite expensive compared to other countries. Alright, so you guys can watch out this list with a pinch of salt. Alright, starting from the bottom. Okay, as long as I don't go over 600 horsepower, I can reuse back the engine block, okay, the crankshaft, the conrod, the piston from GTE. Okay, so let's say I'm going to I need to buy an engine, a GTE engine, so it is around 10k ringgit. If you guys have followed my series, you can also use the 2JZ GE engine block and also the crankshaft. So these two, you can save a lot of money. You just need to buy a second-hand used GTE pistons and conrods. For now, 2019, it is about 1 to 2,000 ringgit. Okay, and then after that, definitely all the old engines, you need to change the main bearings and the conrod bearings, which is also around 1,000. Alright, don't forget the oil pump too. Okay, the oil pump is you can just reuse back the 2JZ GTE, or you can just buy a new 2JZ GTE oil pump, which is cost about 1,000 too. Okay, and then the bottom part, you can just do some engineering work such as honing, ultrasonic cleaning, and also surface decking. Alright, okay, all this including the labor. For in this case, I'm doing it myself. I'm doing the engine building myself. Okay, please be careful that engine building is different from engine normal engine overhaul. For workshops, normal engine overhaul is just replacing all the necessary parts such as the conrod bearings, engine bearing, all the seals, and put back the same things together. Engine overhaul just in normal workshops are just replacing all your head gasket, your seals, your conrod main bearings, and then your piston rings, and seal everything up, put it back to your engine, and that is quite cheap. It is about 2,000 ringgit. But if you're building up the engine from scratch, that means from what like we do, we need to measure all the tolerances, and we have to balance everything so that it can go for very high RPM and very high horsepower reliably. So the engine rebuilding cost is about 3,000 to 4,000 ringgit. Alright. Okay, so I've already finished. I've already covered all the bottom part. So we are going to the top part. Okay, the top part is more complicated because it has more stuff. Okay, so the cylinder head, we are going to reuse the 2JZ GTE, or you can just reuse the 2JZ GE. Alright, you need to replace a new water pump, which is about 300 to 400 ringgit. And then you need to use new cams because original cams cannot get you more than 300 plus horsepower. Alright, so you need to get new cams. For in my case, I just bought Thailand counterfeit cams, which are proven quite good and quite reliable too. Okay, definitely I can go for Kelford or BC cams, which are really top notch, but they are quite expensive. They are about 4,000 plus ringgit, and I got mine Thailand is about 2,500 ringgit. Okay, so you definitely need the cam gears, which is about 500 per cam gear. Depends whether you are reusing the VVTi function or not. If you are reusing the VVTi, then you can just reuse the VVTi cam. Okay, providing that all the sensors are not broken, so you can still reuse them. So for exhaust manifold, for my next project, I'm going to use the Tonka exhaust manifold for 2JZ, which they have done very beautifully. And Tonga Larry has done a lot of researches into making this beautifully made exhaust manifold. So for the exhaust manifold, it is about 1,009 or 2,000 plus a bit for the exhaust manifold. So for the 2JZ intake manifold, there are a few choices. You can reuse back the 2JZ GE manifold, but you need to redirect the intercooler piping, which is a lot of bands. Okay, or you can reuse back the 2JZ GTE intake manifold. Okay, be careful that the GE manifold and the GTE manifold does not fit together because of the cylinder head. Alright, so you need to be very careful. And then you can reuse back the 2JZ GTE intake manifold. This one is very easy because you can just reuse back, and then the intake manifold the throttle body can direct to the intercooler, and then one side to one side, so it is not like GE. Then the third choice is you can use aftermarket parts such as the Tonka intake manifold too. Okay, Tonka is made in Malaysia, and this one is a very beautifully made CNC cut machine. It is worth around 4,000 ringgit, and it is very considered cheap, even if you convert into US dollars. Alright, fuel system. Okay, you have to connect all your fuel lines, Teflon fuel lines, into and out from the fuel rail. Okay, after the fuel rail, you need to install a fuel regulator, which is around maybe 300 plus from Works Engineering. One thing which is very important, try not to use counterfeit fuel pumps or fuel injectors. These two are very important for a healthy engine. Okay, so you need to use very good fuel pump. Fuel pump I'm using is the DW, the 350 liter per hour. I'm using the Bosch injector 850 cc's. Alright, so this one, the cc, you need to be very careful of the duty cycle. The duty cycle for mine is about 70%, and I can produce around 500 horsepower. So if you guys want to go for choose the injectors, need to be very careful on the duty cycle. Okay, the duty cycle, you need to maintain it lower than 90 or 85%, so that when the ECU detects, oh, you need more fuel, it still can inject more fuel. You see, so this is the safety measure that you need to take, just in case that your engine needs more fuel. so that it can burn richer and using a lower exhaust gas temperature. That means lower down your engine temperature. Alright. Now left is the all other section. Okay, so other section is for example the engine mounts, which is about 500 ringgit, and then you need to do a very good job in this because you don't want to make the engine to sit up too high. The CG is higher, and also you may need to cut your bonnet or need to adjust your bonnet, which is not really good. Okay, that one you have done, and then you need to install a gearbox of your choice. This one is up to you. You can reuse back the 1JZ manual, or you can use the 2JZ Supra 6-speed get-right transmission. But you also can go for aftermarket stuff such as dog box and sequentials. And then you need to select a turbo of your choice. Okay, I'm going to prepare a video just for you guys so that you guys can learn how to watch turbo maps so that you can select the proper sizing of turbo for your engine. Okay, so the turbo that I'm using is just a normal TD05. That one is about 2,500 second-hand used turbo, and then you need to do your intercooler pipings, your exhaust downpipes, your fuel lines. Okay, these are around 1,500 for labor. This one you need to do a proper work. Okay, all these are very important, especially for the workmanship part. So you need to find a very good fabricator to do all this for you. Okay, luckily here I got my good friend Desmond. He is a very good fabricator. He helped me to build all these engine mounts, the exhaust pipes, the intercooler pipings, and also the fuel lines. Okay, and also you need to prepare your wiring. Okay, this one you can reuse back the 2JZ GE or GTE, provided you are reusing all the sensors, and then you just try to cut and solder or cut and connect all the wires to your ECU. Okay, this one you can save a lot of money, but definitely there will be a lot of sockets break also because of old age. So the cost varies about maybe 200 ringgit. You just need to replace some of the sockets to maybe 2,000 ringgit, especially if you want to go for mil spec wires and sockets. Okay, so that one is for wiring. ECU of your choice. Okay, for ECU I'm using the ECU Masters EMU Black, which you can install drive-by-wire, and also you don't need to buy the map sensor, and also you no need to buy another auto sensor controller. I just connect the auto sensor directly to the ECU. Okay, the water cooling system is depends whether you are using the front mounted radiator, or in my case I'm using a rear mounted radiator. That one is around 1,500 like that, because rear mounted is more pipings and more more fittings and more places you need to bleed the air. Okay, so other stuff include the aircon. Okay, that one is optional, up to you. And then the power steering also, all the hoses, that one you need to install it and attach to the chassis that you are using. Okay, because depends on your your chassis. You can be using 180 SX like mine, or you can be using Safiro or Toyota chassis. For me, I always change the main pulley into the ATI damper, because all these second-hand used engine, they have already has been in the half cut shop for more than 10 years. So the rubber inside the dampener, definitely it will be hardened already. So you need to change to a new the fluid damper, or in my case I'm using the ATI super damper. Okay, so that this one can protect your engine, your crankshaft, your oil pump, so that you will have a longer life. Because especially when you are revving high RPM, it may vibrate a lot, and the dampener will help you to absorb these vibrations, and you will have a longer life engine. Okay, the damper is around 2,500 ringgit. Okay, and then supporting systems such as the fuel pressure gauge, boost gauge, oil pressure gauge, water temp and or oil temp, your auto sensor, maybe with gauge, exhaust temp, and that one is for me to know whether my anti-lag system is working too hard or not. Okay, or you can install, you can go crazy and install six exhaust temp sensor onto individual exhaust outlet, so you can fine tune each cylinder, each injector correction. Okay, so that one is up to you. Alright, so I have already prepared, this one is for your reference. Right, the engineering works 400 ringgit, rebuilding cost 3,000, around there. Alright, so this one depends on your builder, it can be 4,000 also, because this one is considered quite low, and then I'm doing it myself, and you can do it yourself too. This one I'm going to cancel it out later. Bearings and main bearings and corner bearings about 900 to 1,000. Okay, so I'm reusing the GE rods and piston. This one is a used one. I used the GE block and the crankshaft. Okay, and then I bought the cylinder head also for around 2k ringgit. And then the oil pump, I bought a new one. This one is about 1k. In my case, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so the rebuilding cost, just leave it around zero, because I just use some silicones and a lot of small tools only, right? So this one, I'm not using the GTE tool. I'm using the GE, and I bought a new cylinder, the GTE cylinder head. And then okay, that's all. So I'm going to total it up. It is around 7.8k. Okay, so the US dollar is about 2,000 US dollar. Okay, so for the cylinder head, this one is going to get me into trouble, because all these numbers are out already, but it is just for your reference. Okay. Okay, so this cylinder head, we need to change the new water pump, 360. Timing belt kit, you need to change the tensioner, timing belt, okay, around 800. The intake manifold, I'm reusing the original 2JZ GTE cylinder head with the intake manifold. So this one is optional, it's up to you. But for my next project, I'm going to use a new intake manifold from Tongka. Alright, so the exhaust manifold is 1,005. This one I bought Thailand counterfeit one. Not say they are not good, they are cheap, but the reliability is not as high as Tongka CNC built exhaust manifold, because actually until now I'm quite worried that the Thailand ones will burst or not sealing properly, so this one is still in my mind. But for my next project, I'm going to go for the good and proven stuff. Okay, then the throttle body, I use a used second-hand drive-by-wire throttle body. This is around 400. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this out, the intake manifold for now. I'm going to show you guys. This one is about 5k. Here is about 1,004 USD. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys other stuff. Okay, other stuff. Okay, the fuel system, the injectors, fuel rail, the Teflon hoses, fuel regulator is about 3,000 ringgit. And then the cooling system, okay, this one I'm using the rear mount cooling system. So the radiator, the piping, the label is about 2,000. Okay, the intercooler system, this one is I'm using the Thailand ABS intercooler, which is not bad, quite thick the core, and it is quite sturdy, it looks good, but definitely it is not as good as all those top end one. Alright, okay, so the intercooler system including the pipes is about 2,000. The gearbox and the mounts, okay, so the gearbox, if you guys are using the 1JZ gearbox, it is about 7k plus, because all of the 1JZ and 2JZ are sharing this gearbox. The gearbox is quite expensive, including the engine mounts and the gearbox mount. It is about 8,000 plus, including the long shaft you need to weld to your chassis of your choice. And then the turbo, this one I'm using just the normal China turbo, and it is performing not bad, quite responsive. It is it is quite okay for drift. Definitely, if I have more budget, then I will go for higher and better turbo, such as Borg Warner EFR or GTX Garrett turbo, right? GTW stuff like that. Alright. So around 4K, and the wiring and ECU, this one I wire myself. I tune myself. Oh yeah, the dyno also. Okay, the ECU I'm using the EMU black, which is about 4,000, like that, 4,000 plus, and including the wiring is about 5,000. Okay, last but not least is the the dyno session. Okay, this one dyno is very depending on whether you guys got your own tuner or you tune yourself, and you definitely need to rent the dyno, or you can do it on the road, but which is definitely I don't recommend, because it is very dangerous. For example, if you want to, if you're using a 5-speed transmission, then you are cruising, then you are like driving on a straight road on a 4th gear, and then okay, you are ready. You need to ask somebody. You cannot do it yourself too. You need to ask somebody who is very daring to start from 2,000 RPM and then rev all the way until maybe your rev limit 7,000 plus. Alright, so depending on your final gear ratio, you may go up to 160, 180 kilometers per hour. So it is quite dangerous, not only for you and for other road users too. So definitely I will recommend dyno. Okay, so in dyno I fiddle with it a lot, like super a lot. So I spent around 3,000 in it. US dollar, this one also, like I said, depends on your country. So not sure whether you guys are having the same rate with our Malaysia one. So if I convert it directly, it is about 750 to 7K. Okay, here it is about 27K. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. Let's see the total. Alright, total is about 10K US dollar. And here is yeah, about 40K. Okay, so here you go. You got all my the estimate numbers already. So if you guys are planning to build an engine, 2JZ engine specifically, you can don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to learn more about engine building, especially on 2JZ. And if you guys want to know more, you can also comment below to ask your questions too. See you!